I'm Dustin. I'm a respiratory therapist and also a respiratory coach. And the question I'm going to ask, do hormones and the lungs connect? Because why does my breathing change with stress, mood, or my blood sugar changes? If you've noticed breathing changes when you're stressed, sad, excited, or after eating, you're not imagining it. Hormones directly influence how you breathe. Let's walk through this and what's happening in your body in a clear and practical way. So let's go over the anatomy. How hormones affect breathing. Your breathing is controlled by your brainstem, your automatic control. Nervous system can be affected by stress versus calm. Chemoreceptors, CO2, O2, and pH levels, and your hormones interact with all three. Stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. When you feel stress or anxiety, your adrenaline spikes up. Your heart rate rises. Your breathing becomes fast and shallow. The purpose is to prepare you to fight or flight. What you feel is chest breathing, tightness, air hunger. Our calm state, called the parasympathetic system, is when we feel relaxed. Lower cortisol, your nervous system calms down. Your breathing becomes slow, deep, nasal breathing. This is where healing happens. Emotional states are mood and breathing connection. They're two-way connections. Your emotions change your breathing change your emotions. Pendulum. So to give you an example, you're feeling anxious, you increase your breathing. You feel sad, you breathe shallow, slow, calm, deep, rhythmic breathing. This is called the brain-lung emotion loop. The link between mood and breathing. Your brain and lungs communicate constantly. Fast breathing signals danger, increase anxiety. Slow breathing signals safety, reduces anxiety. This is why breathing exercises work. Insulin and breathing. This is often overlooked. This is a big one. What happens when insulin spikes? Boop, 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 boop. When you eat high sugar or processed carbs, your blood sugar rises quickly. Insulin spikes and your body shifts into storage mode. How this affects breathing? High amounts of insulin increases inflammation. It affects your airway sensitivity. The CO2 balance changes and your blood chemistry shifts. This can increase breathing rate. So for example, if your CO2 goes down, let me rephrase that. When your CO2 goes up, you increase your breathing. When it goes down, you slow down your breathing because you're trying to exhale the CO2. Your energy will shift as well. You're going from high insulin, and then it's going to go whoop, real fast. That's why they call it a crash. Leads to fatigue and shallow breathing. You feel sluggish, breathless, low energy. What is the insulin index? Insulin index measures how much food raises insulin, not just blood sugar. The glycemic index. Its importance is to help you recognize that some food raise sugar much more, but still raise insulin significantly. Or the opposite. They don't raise your sugar much, but they still raise your insulin. It's good to be aware of that. The significant examples: processed foods, refined carbs, certain dairy products with sugar in their yogurts can increase your insulin. Why the insulin index matters. For your breathing, stable insulin is the key, which means less inflammation, better energy, more efficient oxygen use, and your breathing becomes more stable and efficient. What are nutritional ways to balance our hormones? Let's focus on whole foods, vegetables, healthy fats, and clean proteins. I'll give you an example. For example, if you had a breakfast to start off the day and you want high amounts of energy and not have the sharp drop of your insulin, I'd recommend whole eggs. Whole eggs, just that. What it provides you is a whole protein that has cholesterol, which is a fat, and then we have the proteins. And it has a tendency, because fats keeps your insulin where it is. It doesn't spike it up. It keeps it stable. It provides you a long-term energy source, and it doesn't spike your insulin. How to reduce insulin spikes? We can do that by, when we need to, limit processed carbs, or in some cases, don't have carbs at this moment. I'm referring to breads specifically, grains specifically. Those are most common carbs that cause the highest amount of insulin growth. Carbohydrates like vegetables tend to cause less insulin spikes. Also be aware of added sugars added to foods or high sugary products that have very little nutrients or fibers or any other things that are good for your body and required nutrients balance. Avoid constant snacking. It's actually important to take breaks between meals, which allows your insulin to regulate. We keep eating, it spikes it up, spikes it up, spikes it up, spikes it up. Balanced meals, proteins, healthy fats, and fiber. Very important. This slows your glucose absorption and stabilizes your insulin. What are some key nutrients, supplements that I can add? I'd recommend magnesium glycinate. It helps calm your nervous system. Omega-3 fatty acids helps reduce inflammation. D3 is great to help your hormones regulate. And B vitamins helps with energy and your nervous system. What are some good breathing techniques I can do to help calm my mind? My favorite is nasal breathing. You're going to inhale through your nose, expand your diaphragm, then exhale very slowly. So for example, inhale 4 seconds and exhale 6 to 8 seconds. What this does is calm your nervous system. Consistent daily practices, I would do about 5 to 10 minutes a day, trains your baseline breathing. While your physical activity, what you can do is walking, stretching, having quality naps or sleep, doing sunlight exposure, all need to regulate your hormones naturally. So those things help you regulate your hormones naturally and keep you calm. What also can affect your hormones are toxins. Having too much caffeine. Caffeine has been shown to increase your stress hormone, or nicotine found in cigarettes, vaping, or any type of substance can also affect you. What it does, it affects the oxygen and your vessels. It causes restriction of your vessels and decreases your ability to absorb oxygen, which stresses your heart and gives you that, I need more oxygen. Alcohol disrupts your hormones and sleep. If you want to balance your hormones and feel more better quality REM sleep, alcohol consumption needs to be decreased over the next 3 months. Ultra-processed foods also affects your insulin spikes. These processed foods shoot up your insulin and have no nutrients to help keep it stable. So be aware of that. If you do happen to eat some of them, balance it out with high-quality fiber-rich nutrients and proteins that are fats. Most important is to get quality water, high amounts of fibers that are rich in soluble nutrients. Simple way to think about it is this. Your breathing is a mirror of your internal state. Your hormones, your emotions, your nutrition. That's what is good to recognize. They all show up in how you breathe. You're not just breathing air. You're responding to your entire internal environment. When you stabilize your blood sugar, calm your nervous system, and breathe with intention, you're creating a body that feels calm, energized, more in control. This is a huge privilege to help you understand your body at this level. Thank you and God bless.